digging deeper on Disney's Wish, the esoteric meanings that are a little bit obvious within this movie, but we're going to just take it a step further. So, this is like the Fool's Journey, more focused on the second tree as she's processing her inner work. Rosa represents humanity, and sorcery, the deep state, is Magnifico. I can't say that right. Basically, the deep state and government. Um, you know, just to correlate, America is where all are welcome, and for appreciation of protection of all the fears that you're told to have. Um, so, we make sure that you're in fear, and we'll be the ones to be there to protect you. And you'll appreciate us for that. Soul and life purpose is buried and taken for the weekly grind paycheck to fall into line, while lining the pockets of the 1%. Like the pharma commercials. I mean, everyone should feel uncomfortable when you watch those commercials, but it's just, you're going to love easing one ailment, and you're going to be happy and content with all the possible side effects that could even fill a book, even to your death. And you're going to love it, and you're going to be happy about it. Finally, you'll be happy. Because that one ailment makes you unhappy. And then they have a ton of reasons for possible ailments to hit you one way or the other, and it could be blamed on that too. Promises of the American dream and wishes coming true. It's the home of the promised land, right? For the ones that they choose for you. For who chooses fame, and then also for who chooses fame and wealth, they are controlled as well. So that's very current today, and becoming a little bit more talked about. Wish, it's not just any wish, he says, but the one that makes you who you are. So wish is like the hunger. Wish is also the same in sign language. The sign for wish and hunger is the same. It's your life force. Understanding the knowledge within the wish. And knowing I am. Knowing that you are Moana, Hercules, Asha, Belle. You are all these characters within yourself if you choose to see yourself within them and have that be your wish. Wish leaves the body and mind, and the person is lethargic and empty. So a handout of power and personal gratification can easily be given to feed that lion within that person. They've been broken down, just like the military. We're going to break you down and build you up the way we want you to. When a possible hero becomes the villain's minion. So we're all possible heroes, but you've been bred and built in a way so that they can easily satisfy your animalistic needs and nature, and then they will forever have you as one of their minions. So this is, the gist of the story. So she is a genuine patriot of the land and people. So roots for the established rules and way of the land, and the ways of the land, for the love of the humanity. She does believe in the beginning and supports who rules, even though later she wakes up to feeling it is wrong to take away the very core of one's soul and spirit. And that basic concept has not changed. So, it's funny because in the beginning she's taught it's the same thing and she knows it, but when she sees it from a different perspective, she still knew this, but it was told to her and she explained it to other people in such a way where it was glorified for the way that they want you to see it. So I think it's very interesting because nothing changed. She saw that he did things with evil intent, but there was no new information. Like, some of these wishes will never get granted, but still the basic concept of taking someone's very soul, she knew. So it's interesting, right? He was understood to have magic that was for good of the people when it was occult information that he used as bad. Fearing another who also could have traveled the lands learning occult knowledge, that one day he could be challenged. So he understands he's not the only one that could have this knowledge. He knows that. Okay? So she worked 18 years, or almost 18 years, harnessing the internal work, changing her pauses, as she says, that her pauses have changed. And when one worthy makes a wish on a star, they are wishing to the magic within. We are all stardust made of the same source. Communicate with your star within and synchronize synchronicities and communication without words. Just like she communicates with her inner self without words, they just understand each other. Words just thought of good in without words, just the thought of good intention for the parts of you that seem separate from yourself, but you understand better now. And to get one's goat, when you look it up, is from the idea to place a goat in the stalls of horses to calm them before a race day. To take away one's sense of calm as to annoy or anger them. The idea here is to not get someone else's goat and take that from them. To treat others like a tamed animal. But to worry about grabbing your own goat and be your own guinea pig versus treating others as such. The stop motion of step-by-step process of getting your own goat and enjoying the hops of wisdom that you find along the way. We would climb that tree on the high ridge where it became just you and the stars. And he would say, the stars are there to guide us, to inspire us, to remind us to believe in possibility. She was the age of 12 when he passed, and he was a philosopher. So she has that DNA within her. Alchemy, magic, ancient civilization knowledge, the occult knowledge within all ancient civilizations are extremely similar. Pure heart of the chosen to seek, and there is never mind. Pure heart of chosen to seek the cross, she sees and feels the soul of Rosa, and instinctively she says, they are everything. She startles herself listening to her own intuition, and it's cute because she's like, where did that come from? Exactly. Her relationship with herself is growing. People think wishes are ideas, just ideas, but they are a part of your heart. The very best part is what he says. He wants to create something to inspire the next generation, her grandfather. And so Magnifico says that the very possibility is a risk, because he knows that the power of the heart and the mind in balance is part of the great work. And once you work on your inner self, then you transition to living an example and trying to spread the information of what you've acquired in the best way that you can. Because her grandfather wants to create something to inspire the next generation. That's too scary for people that like to be in control. The spectacle, handsome show of his power and control, it's very Hollywood. He comes out and it's always just like, the big modern Christian churches. It's a big spectacle. We're going to modernize it. And it's, the handsome face. We're going to Hollywood it. Make you love us, fawn over us. The other people not wanting to know. Basically, like when she confronts her family, they don't want to know. It's the power of the content that they have been. He lived 100 years under this lifestyle. Brainwashing, normal for peaceful, or the promise of society to be peaceful is easier if the soul's truest wish is not fired. There should be a D there. So you got to find that little spark and reignite it with what is yours. Your heart, your truest wishes, your desires. It's the rebirth when you find that and choose to reignite that. The power of the truest wishes from a hero born to be before she gives it away. So she has not given her wish yet, so she has that extra something. The extra something you find in children, the innocence, the imagination. There's so much to be said about that. She found her magic on her own. She did not find that from anyone else telling her, any organized religion or anything. She found it on her own. It can be a little all over the place. You know, that star is confusing her all over the place. And it's hard to understand what's in your own head and mind and heart, sometimes when they're getting to know each other. But you just got to trust in your heart, and it really will become easy and natural, for the cause of natural laws, fight versus man's law. You'll know the difference, and you'll become more comfortable with that. Learned that plants and animals are connected with us. More beautiful stardust, and a wish requires will and action as well. Me and my son were blowing those little wish weeds, the little white ones, and they weren't quite ready. And I had one little thing that would not blow, and I kept blowing and blowing, like switching it every angle, whipping it, and it would not. That one little thing, I blew every other one, but that one stayed. And it got me thinking. I went ahead and I pulled it. I pulled it because, you know what, wishing's all good and dandy, but you still have to maintain, and you do need to have will, to make it happen. The door would not open with all her tries, but then, you know, you just got to trust in that light within, and it will at that point effortlessly open wide. It's hard to find what you're looking for, but it will fall into place. When Rosa, when your inner self was looking for all the craziness in your head, all the balls and wishes for everybody else, couldn't quite found pieces and bits of what she was looking for, but it all ended up falling into place, in the end. When Rosa, and when one of the community members, her friend, had one question of the system, everyone started thinking and then having more and more questions of the trusting of the system of control labeled as safety. It just got him thinking, and they were, well, can we define this a little bit better? He got very aggravated, obviously, because he's hypnotized by power. That's what a dark occult do. Defender of truth and individual power, that's what light occultists do. So you're either, this is all the same knowledge, and it could be twisted, and you don't know everything in your, where you got your information from, whether it's dark or light. Well, I mean, we're not trying, light occult is not trying to do anything bad, but there's a lot of control of how much information is released to who within their groups. It's all about control and power. Some wishes are sacrificed for making it right, like her mother, who, you know, some willing and some not. That is why we do what we do, courage through the grief. Because she, even though she lost her heart, she said, I know this feeling, it's grief. But she, you know, there's that sacrifice, but still go, you know, and if you just trust, come the end of the day, though, it was magically restored to her. Targeted as the enemy for questioning authority. You will always be on the hunt if you question authority. Just practicing, prepared for all, just practicing, when he said, shark, always be prepared for all possibilities, because you have to honor all possibilities, or else it will haunt you. Look at it, face it, say that it's a possibility, even though obviously I don't want a shark to come get me. But if I ignore it, then I'm not, it will be buried and haunt me. Look at it, face it, know it's a possibility, but then focus on the reality that you're just going to make it there, and you're going to be there so fast that the likelihood is just not, you know, what are the chances? You look at all the possibilities, but harnessed by the facts to logical outcome, especially considering all the will that you're about to bring to the table. So, and know that there's power in that. So you move forward, without wearing a mask and not facing the possibility of bad things, but knowing, right, what's likely to happen nonetheless. When something feels wrong, the dark magic show, that's what they're doing, is hailed as lighthearted entertainment. The weak can be manipulated with the food trap of power. They are going to feed your belly, the one thing that keeps you alive, metaphorically speaking, with power. Feeding the hunger of the soul. Be careful what you wish for, right? Because what he wished for ended up turning him bad, to be the king's number one supporter and knight. Rewards and payouts for the compliant to ignore their guts of feels wrong. Shut the door and windows to look deep within. Know what you know now and why, and what you need to do now moving forward. Revolution. Trolls, Monsters, Inc. Energy, wishes, and a song and soul feeds them. They have to disclose. They have to let you be your own enslaver by will. So there's lying by omission. We tell you the truth through media in backdoor ways. We also feed you the lies. We feed you the truth warped by lies, and you're gonna choose to accept it, and that's truly what it is. Magic grows and is now known to make that fruit from the tree of knowledge bigger and more vast. Learning curve, always though, so she's figuring it out, the power that she now understands she has more thoroughly. Through the heart, we understand the world. So now her friends go see all the wishes for the first time. And the one little goofball who's always all over the place, the one boy, he just looks up and instantly says, through the heart, we understand the world. And then spazzes out and gets distracted by something else. Again, when presented amongst the Rosa's wishes, individually was said by that friend, instinctively, without even realizing, and he didn't even realize it afterwards, right? 5-star pulleys to release the souls are hard unless you take that leap of faith to open up the 12-sided star. Saba's 100, but his will is strong. Nature's will be there to protect you on the journey of a pure heart. Words of creation and truth, and the spark of fire of the soulless. Because the hermit holds it within always. They outnumber us. If they realize that, they will rise up. So even though at this point he had become all powerful, trapped everyone, stole everyone's soul, even the star, he has everyone's soul, but there's still enough. There's still enough for the one person who starts singing, and then everyone else who started singing. They connected universally together and changed the outcome. Claim what is yours in your heart. Sing your song. Even the wishes that thought destroyed can come back. Even if you made mistakes, you can make it right and come back home to yourself and to your heart. You will still see the darkness in the mirror, but knowing to hang it up as something to confront and control, versus destroying it so that we forget and cycles repeat. Don't ever forget. Look and remember the lesson so that you can move on stronger and teach the next generation. From one domesticated animal to another. Help us. Your goat. Star forms infinity symbol at the end. These are the lyrics. Let's take a look. This wish. Isn't truth supposed to set you free? Well, why do I feel so weighed down by it? If I could show them everything I've seen, open their eyes to all the lies, then would they change their minds like I did? But when I speak, they tell me sit down. But how can I when I've already started running? Oh, this is where we've been, but it's not where we belong. And I may be young, but I know I'm not wrong. So I look up at the stars to guide me and throw caution to every warning sign. If knowing what it could be is what drives me, then let it be the first to stand in line. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this. So I make this wish to have something more for us than this. More than this, I never knew I needed room to grow. I did what I was told when someone told me no. Now I've got all this freedom in my bones, but I've still got the lid on so it doesn't overflow, because I've got reservations and hesitations on where I should even begin. I'm past dipping my toes. I'm past dipping my toes in, but I'm not. No, I'm not past diving in. If I could just be pointed in any given direction on where to go and what to do, my legs are shaking, but my head's held on high, the way you always taught me to. So I look up at the stars and guide me, and it ends like that. I'm a star. Have you ever wondered why you look up at the sky for answers, or why flowers in the wind are effortless and eloquent dancers? What forms the rings in the trees, turns a pine from a seed? What passed down generationally to you and to me? And why our eyes all look like microscopic galaxies? Have you ever wondered why you look up at the sky for answers? Well, you don't have to look too hard. We're here for all your question marks. If you're trying to figure out who you are, don't look far in the sky and your front yard, in your heart and in your scars. If you really want to know who you are, you're a star. Boom. Did we just blow your mind? Well, I've known the entire time. When it comes to the universe, we're all shareholders. Get that through your system. See, we are all little nebulas in a nursery from supernovas. Now we've grown into our history. We're taking wise right out of the mystery. Closure. Now we're taking in all the star exposure. We eat the leaves and they eat the sun. See, that's where all the balls of gas come from. Hey, you still look like you're hanging on by a strand, but if you just see the mushrooms, then you'll understand. The mushrooms, psychedelics. So your dust is my dust. Fantastic. Well, you don't have to look hard. It's all around you, not too far. If you're trying to figure out who you are, you're a star. Do you know you're a work of art, even in the deepest dark? If you really want to know who you are, I'm a star. Here's a little fun allegory that gets me excited. That word. This might sink in the morning. We are our own origin story. If I'm explaining this poorly, well, I'll let star do it for me. It's all quite revolutionary. We are our own origin story. You don't have to look hard. It's all around you, not too far. If you're trying to figure out who you are, you're a star. No matter where you end or start, we're all each other's counterparts. If you really want to know who you are, you're a star. Watch out, world, here I are. You know who's looking sharp? Me. I'm a star. You're a star? Watch out, world, here you are. You know who's looking sharp? You. You are a star. Oh, I didn't put a background on that. That's so annoying to me. Knowing what I know now. You've been deceived. Magnifico is not the man he claims to be. He's more vicious than I could have ever comprehended. When I made a wish and a star came down, this is not what I expected or intended. But now that it's happened, I don't regret it, because now I've seen him show his true colors in shades of green, saying that you wishes aren't safe because of me, and that's a lie, and I know I can't do this on my own, and if it's not for us, then who and when? If we don't fight, he knows he wins. Not allowed. Knowing what I know now, the lengths he'll go, there's no amount. I won't sit back and watch this play out. That's my vow. Knowing what I know now, get up. No, I'm not the only one that's fed up. Wait till they hear Our feet go dun dun dun. I don't think he's prepared for what's coming. A revolution hit the ground running. If there's one thing he can't keep down, it's us and the strength we found. It's too loud, the sound. Knowing that we know now, and who knows if we'll succeed, but we won't stop and we won't retreat or turn around. Knowing what we know now, he can tell us, can he tell what we're becoming? Hear it in the way we're drumming? I was sweet, but now I'm something else. Ain't it nice of us to drop in, to take what's ours and take it back in? He thinks we're not nothing. He thinks we're nothing, but we're something else. I've seen too many bad things that I can't keep count. He loves one thing more than himself, his crown. The good thing in him, I've watched it melt. The good in him, I've watched it melt. I was fooled by the love I felt, so profound. Knowing what I know, we know now. Knowing what we know now.